What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and as you might be able to tell, my voice sounds a little funny. I've been sick for close to a week now, so just try to not pay attention to that. Before we get into the topic of today's video, I just want to point out, I know I have missed quite a few things over the last week or so now. I have missed a recap of the last preseason game against the Chiefs. I have missed the Harrison Smith extension. I have missed the Irv Smith injury. I have missed the Chris Herndon signing, and I have yet to react to any of the final roster cuts that have been made. And that is just because of a few reasons. Either I was at work when these pieces of news broke, or I've just been working too much. I have been sick and just not been in the mood, or I've been at the state fair. I was literally at the state fair yesterday while the Chris Herndon news broke and when the roster cuts came out. So that's kind of the reason that I've missed a few things, but I should be having a relatively clear schedule coming up here for the beginning of the season. So weekly picks and weekly game recaps will be here and all that, and hopefully this sickness will be gone soon too. But what I'm really here for today and what this video is about, as you guys have already read from the title, is we're going to discuss the Everson Griffen releasing / cut and what this all really is and why it's happening and what really we can expect from this. Because I've seen a lot of people with a lot of misinformation or just bad takes on this, and I want to let you guys know what is up. So as we know, the Minnesota Vikings brought back Everson Griffen towards the very end of the preseason. He did get to play in the game against the Chiefs, recorded a sack, played relatively well for someone who hasn't been in the system for over a year now. And a lot of people thought this was going to be a good thing. He was going to start alongside Danielle Hunter on those defensive end spots. And then, of course, final cuts came out, and Everson Griffen was one of those final cuts. I saw so many people saying, what? He's such a great DN. You know, he played, so well in the one game, yada, yada, yada. Rick Spielman, what are you doing? Fire Rick, bring back Everson Griffen. All this sort of stuff that I've seen spewed across the internet for months and months and months now, even years at this point. And I just want to clear it all up. Now, I'm with some of the other people. I was impressed with how Everson played in the final preseason game, and I'm not necessarily sure I thought he deserved like a bona fide spot on the team, but I thought he had a relatively good shot considering he knew the system and he's a veteran player. But if you pay any remote amount of attention to any of the major NFL reporters out there, this one specifically being Tom Pelissero, he has pointed out that a move like this is generally pretty procedural for teams. They like to juggle around their rosters, move players to the practice squad, and ultimately make up room on that final roster for players that they really did want. So the hope here is that they let Everson Griffen go, and then they make some of those moves, get players down into the practice squad, and then they hopefully should be able to bring in Everson on either the same deal or something even maybe just a little bit cheaper. And since Everson Griffen is more of a vested veteran, in the words of Tom Pelissero at least, he's not subject to having to go on waivers, and the Minnesota Vikings don't have to hope that he clears waivers, so they can just make the moves that they need to make, bringing players down to the practice squad without, worrying that someone is going to go and pick Everson Griffen up because, let's face it, Everson Griffen didn't really have much interest from any teams before he was picked up by the Minnesota Vikings, just this last week or so. So there really is no reason to worry about this if you were at all excited about Everson Griffen being back on the team, even if it's just a situational sort of role, or he just plays every so often. But that's kind of the extent of the situation. There's just a lot of misinformation out there. It's just procedural, along with a few other players that are out there. People were like, oh, what about Nate Stanley? What about, why don't we have a long snapper? A lot of this is going to be similar situations for guys like that. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that Everson Griffen deserves a spot on the team? I think a lot of you are going to say, yeah, he's a veteran. He was once a Pro Bowl player, probably still has some in the tank, yada, yada, yada. Let's hope that this is all correct, all procedural, and he gets back in. And I know some of you may be on the other side, but just let me know in the comments down below. And that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. If you enjoyed this information at all and this, clearing up of this somewhat complicated situation, if you're not really in the loop, then make sure you give this video a like. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe as well. We have the giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe so you can be a part of that. And if you guys want to share this video with anyone that you know to help clear up some misinformation that you think they may believe, then you can do that with anyone on any platform. And if it's a crack dealer on the corner, that's your guys' best option. You guys already know. My name is Nick, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios.